The Bible contains a complete daily meditation system. 3 prayers, 3 patriarchs, 3 different states of consciousness, and one rhythm that when you walk it, restructures the entire experience of a single day. You've been reading the Genesis narratives your whole life and probably never seen it. I didn't see it for the first maybe 15 years of my own practice. And when I did finally see it, it rearranged how I understood what Scripture was actually trying to teach. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the 3 prayers and the 3 verses found in the book of Genesis, where each of these prayers is hidden, the 3 Hebrew verbs that distinguish them, and most importantly, how to actually walk all 3 in a single day. If you stay to the end, I'll give you a full one-day practice that you can maybe begin tomorrow. Now let me give you the rabbinic teaching first, because it's the framework everything else hangs on. In the Talmud, specifically the Tractate Berachit, Folio 26b, the rabbis are debating where the 3 daily Jewish prayers came from. The Shacharit, the morning prayer, Mincha, the afternoon prayer, and Ma'ariv, the evening prayer. And one of the most famous teachings in this tractate declares that the 3 daily prayers were instituted by the 3 patriarchs. And if you've been following along, you've heard this already. But Abraham founded the morning prayer, Isaac founded the afternoon prayer, and Jacob founded the evening prayer. This is not a footnote in Jewish tradition. This is one of the central teachings about the architecture of Jewish daily prayer practice. Every observant Jew who has prayed 3 times a day for the last thousands of years, in some cases has been walking through the lives of those 3 patriarchs. And the rabbis didn't invent this from nothing. They derived it from 3 specific verses found in the book of Genesis, one for each of the patriarchs, one for each prayer. Now these 3 verses are the source, and we're going to walk through each one of them. So Abraham first, Genesis chapter 19, verse 27. The context, the night before the city of Sodom has been destroyed, Abraham has argued with God about his fate and bargained and negotiated and tried to plead for the righteous people who might be in the city. Now it's morning and the cities are gone. The verse says, and Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. Let's read that again. Abraham got up early in the morning and went to the place where he stood before the Lord. The rabbis read this verse as the institution of Shacharit, the morning prayer. Abraham, before dawn, returned to the place where he had stood in dialogue with God the day before. The Hebrew word that the rabbis focus on is amad. He stood. It comes from the same root as one of the technical Hebrew words for prayer, amidah, which literally means the standing. The central Jewish prayer to this day is called amidah and is prayed standing up because Abraham stood. Now, what does Abraham's prayer teach us about morning practice? Abraham is the patriarch of active engagement with God. He argues, he negotiates, he bargains, he intervenes. His relationship with the divine is not passive. It is participatory, even confrontational, you might say. The morning prayer in the Abrahamic mold is the prayer of standing up and showing up. It is taking your place before the day begins. It is intervening on behalf of what you care about. It is the active, agentic, willful dimension of the contemplative practice. If your morning practice has felt sort of soft or vague, try Abraham's. Get up, stand up, show up to the place where you met something maybe true yesterday. Take your stand for the day that's ahead of you. That is Shacharit. That is the first prayer. That is the morning patriarch. So now we come to Isaac, Genesis 24, verse 63. If you've been with me in the series, you already know this verse. But I want you to see it in a new context now, not as the isolated meditation moment, but as the middle part or the middle term or the middle practice in this three-part structure. The verse says, "And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, and he lifted up his eyes and stood, and behold, the camels were coming." The Jewish verb is lashuach, from the root word shiach, which we've covered before in the reels and some of the other videos. It means to meditate, to pray, to pour out, to converse, but it also means the plants and the flowers that are growing around him in the field. The rabbis read this verse as the institution of Mincha, Isaac walking in the field in the hour of lifnat arev, toward the evening, and shiaching. If Abraham is the patriarch of standing and showing up, Isaac is the patriarch of walking and listening. Notice what Isaac does not do. He doesn't bargain. He doesn't intervene. He doesn't argue with God. He doesn't even seem to know what he's looking for. He just goes out to meditate, and then he lifts his eyes, and something arrives. The afternoon prayer in the Isaacian mold is the prayer of receptivity. It is the practice of being present in the field, in the threshold hour, to whatever wants to arrive. It is not initiated by you, it receives. This is critical because most Western contemplative practices, including most Christian prayer, defaults to the Abrahamic mode, showing up, speaking up, begging for something, addressing God, bringing your requests and interceding. Isaac is teaching the opposite. Walk, be quiet, lift your eyes, and receive. If your prayer life has been all Abraham and no Isaac, you have been missing half of what the patriarchal narrative is actually teaching. The afternoon practice is corrective. That is Mincha. That is the second prayer. That is the middle patriarch. That's your Isaac. Now Jacob. Genesis 28, verse 11. The context, Jacob is on the run. He stole the blessing from his brother Esau. Esau wants to kill him. Their mother Rebekah has sent Jacob away to her family's land, and he is alone. He's fleeing with nothing. And the verse says, "And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of the place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep." Now, the Hebrew verb that the rabbis focus on is Pagah, translated here as lighted upon, but it actually means to encounter, to meet, to come upon unexpectedly, even to strike against. The same verb is used elsewhere in scriptures to mean like a collision. Now, an encounter, so what it really is, I should say, is an encounter that is forced upon you, something that happens to you rather than something you initiate. That night, Jacob lays down with a stone for a pillow and a dream of a ladder reaching from the earth to the heavens, with angels ascending and descending on that ladder, is given to him, better known as Jacob's ladder, and the voice of God speaks to him in the dream. The rabbis read this verse as the institution of Ma'ariv, the evening prayer. Now, what does this prayer of Jacob teach us? If Abraham is standing up, if Isaac is walking and receiving, Jacob is lying down and being met. The evening practice is the prayer of surrender. It's surrender to encounter. You don't initiate it. You don't even fully participate in it consciously. You lie down in your exhaustion, in your fear, in your displacement, with your head on a stone, and something happens to you in the dark. This is the most counterintuitive of the three. Modern wellness culture has almost nothing for it. The advice is always do more, be more intentional about what you want, take more action. But Jacob's prayer is the practice of letting the day be over, letting yourself fall, allowing the encounter to come to you in the unconscious, in the dreams, in the dissolution of your daytime self. Evening practice in the Jacobean model is not winding down, it is lying down in the place where the encounter happens. That is the Ma'ariv. That is the third prayer. That is the evening patriarch. Now let me synthesize what these three patriarchs and the three prayers give you. Taken together, it's a complete daily map of consciousness. Morning, Abraham is standing. it's active, it's engagement. Afternoon, Isaac is walking, it's receptive presence. Evening is Jacob laying down, surrender to encounter. The morning is where you show up and stand. You take your place, you bring your intentions, you intervene for what matters. The day has not weighed on you. Your willpower is at maximum. This is the hour to act. The afternoon is where you walk and receive. The day has weighed on you. You spent your willpower. You now go into the field, literally or metaphorically, and you let yourself be open to what wants to arrive. You don't strive, you don't argue, you lift your eyes. The evening is where you lie down and let the day end. You set down everything you've been carrying. You let yourself be, or let you let yourself really be met by what arrives in the dark, in the dreams, in the deep rest, in the surrender of your daytime self. Each of these states is necessary. None of them substitutes for the other. A spiritual life built only on the Abrahamic model is exhausting and willful. A life built only on the Isaacian model is passive and disconnected. A life built only on the Jacobean model is dissociated and dreamy. But the three together, held in rhythm, produce a complete human being. So here's the one-day practice for you. And you can try this today or maybe, tomorrow if the day is too late in the day right now. But in the morning, before you check your phone, stand. Literally, stand up in the place where you sleep, get out of your bed, take 3 breaths standing, and then silently or aloud state one thing that you are taking your stand for today. One thing you will not be moved from. One concern, one person, one principle. State it and then begin your day. That is Shacharit, really in its simplest form. Now, between 3 p.m. and sunset, step away from what you were doing. Maybe you have to set a timer or set an alarm. You can go outside for even just 10 paces, or if not, just walk to a window. Don't bring your phone. Walk slowly. Let your gaze soften and breathe. Lift your eyes to the horizon, to the sky, to the wall in front of you, whatever it might be. Don't look for anything, but just look. 3 minutes, 5 if you can. That's Mincha. And then, before you go to sleep, and I mean before going to sleep, not before your phones or not, going and then scrolling, no screen time, no music, no books, just right before you go to sleep, put your hands to your chest, rest and fall into the bed and say silently, the day is over, I lay down, meet me in the dark. And let yourself fall asleep. That is Ma'ariv. 3 minutes in the morning, maybe 5 minutes in the afternoon, 3 minutes in the evening. That's 11 minutes total across the entire day. I think many of us can fit that in. And that is the 3,000 or older year-old practice done by the patriarchs. Now, if you walk this for 1 week, and even if you do it imperfectly, just leave me a comment below. Tell me which prayer is the hardest for you. Most people maybe find one of the 3 that just sort of feels natural. 2 feel a little bit more foreign. But the gap, that gap or that feeling is the teaching. The patriarch you resist the most is honestly the one you need the most. Next Saturday, I'll be back with another video. So I hope to see you there. Or if you enjoyed this or found something useful from it, please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and share this with others that you think might be interested in viewing it. And if you're not